James was in a hurry. It was already getting dark, and he had promised his mother he would be home before sunset. He had spent the whole afternoon playing basketball with his friends, completely losing track of time. Now, he had to rush back home before she got worried, or worse, angry. The main road to his house was a long one, winding around the hill and taking almost 30 minutes on foot. But James knew of a shortcut. It was a small dirt path through the forest, cutting the time in half. He had never taken it alone before, but he had seen others use it. Maybe I should just take the normal way, he thought for a second. But when he checked the time on his phone, panic set in. If he didn't hurry, he would be in trouble. Taking a deep breath, he stepped onto the narrow forest path. The shortcut. At first, everything seemed fine. The path was quiet, with only the sound of leaves rustling in the wind and birds calling to each other. The evening air was cool, and James could still see a bit of sunlight filtering through the trees. This isn't so bad, he told himself, picking up his pace. But as he moved deeper into the forest, the light faded faster than he expected. The trees grew denser, their branches intertwining like fingers blocking out the sky. Shadows stretched across the path, making it harder to see. James hesitated. The path was getting unfamiliar, and a strange feeling crept over him. Something about the silence felt unnatural. No birds, no insects, just the sound of his own footsteps crunching against the dry leaves. Suddenly, a sharp snap echoed through the trees. James froze. His heart pounded in his chest. Was it just a branch falling? Or was something, or someone, there? He shook his head. Relax, James. It's just your imagination. Determined to keep going, he picked up his pace. But as he walked, the path beneath his feet became less clear. Had he taken a wrong turn? Lost in the forest. James pulled out his phone to check the map, but to his horror, the screen was blank, no signal. He tried calling his mother, but the call wouldn't go through. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Okay, stay calm. Just turn back, he muttered to himself. He turned around and started retracing his steps. But after walking for several minutes, nothing looked familiar. The trees all seemed the same, and there was no sign of the path he had taken. Panic began to set in. Hello, he called out. His voice echoed through the silent forest. No answer. The temperature seemed to drop, and a thick fog began to creep through the trees. James felt his chest tighten. This wasn't normal. It was as if the forest was alive, playing tricks on him. Then, a whisper. At first, it was faint, like the wind passing through the trees. But then, it grew louder, words he couldn't quite understand. It sounded like his name. James. His blood ran cold. Spinning around, he saw nothing but trees and mist. His breath came in short gasps. Who's there? He shouted. No answer. He started running, pushing past branches and stumbling over roots. His only thought was to get out, find the road, find anyone who could help. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw movement. A dark figure, just beyond the trees. James's heart nearly stopped. It didn't move like a normal person. It glided, almost floating between the trees. No, 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 he whispered, forcing his legs to run faster. But the path seemed endless. Every turn led to more trees, more mist, more darkness. It was as if the forest had swallowed him whole. The price of the shortcut. Then, James saw something up ahead, a light. His heart leaped with hope. He sprinted toward it, branches scratching his arms and face. As he got closer, the light grew brighter, and suddenly, he burst out of the forest. Gasping for air, he found himself standing on the main road, right in front of his house. His mother was on the porch, her face full of worry. James. Where have you been? I was about to call the police, she cried, rushing over. James wanted to explain, but he was too shaken. He turned to look back at the forest. The mist was gone, and the trees stood still, as if nothing had happened. Had he imagined it all? That night, he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard the whisper. The next day, he went back to the forest with his friends, trying to find the shortcut again. But no matter how hard they searched, the path wasn't there. It was as if it had never existed. From that day on, James never took a shortcut again. Some things were better left unexplored.